Welcome, everybody, to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Black Spartan, of course, the man to my left, your right, Show Guy Joe, depending on how your screen is flipped. Still grinding in tech, and sir, how goes it?
I'm in the red ranks.
I
got out of orange. Yeah, I got out of orange, so that means there are no training wheels, which means I have to learn the game all over again without training wheels. Which, if you look in the Tekken community, I'm still in what's considered the trash category.
But at this point, it doesn't. It's like the preseason. Nothing counts beforehand, and you're starting back from the beginning. But look at it this way: at least they're going to curve pluggy, which again we're going to explain what's going. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
But again, we're going to explain exactly what Tekken's doing about that a little bit later on the show. But again, guys, as you can tell, me and Joe are a little bit of the older variety, so sometimes words do fly, even though we do try to watch our language. At the same time, guys, there may be things that might be shown, including trailers, that might be too intense for younger viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So we can actually start off with some happy news, because in Gunn we trust, that being James Gunn, has given us a little bit of superhero news. Mainly put, he has shown this on Instagram, guys, which basically he says, overjoyed to be announcing the start of principal photography on Superman today, February 29th, which just so happens to be, coincidentally and unplanned, Superman's birthday, as he shows a picture of the iconic symbol. He also says at the bottom, when I finished the first draft of the script, I called the film Superman Legacy, but by the time I liked the final draft, it was clear the title was Superman. Making our way to you July 2025. Happy birthday, Clark. Hashtag up, and away. So, again, I am not complaining about this. Gunn has been very vocal about what happens with DC. He has been very upfront about what happens in DC. He has been very upfront about what's happening with Superman. Superman Legacy, now just called Superman. We know that multiple DC characters we've been wanting for a long time to be on the big screen will be on the big screen in this movie. But Joe, I have to ask this question because I'm pretty sure you thought the same thing I thought when you saw this picture and you saw what looks like to be snow. Is it possible we may actually see the Forces of Solitude?
Well, it's either that or principal photography is shooting up in Canada, and Canada's just got some snowy weather right now.
That is true. But aside from that, guys, also the reason why we love this picture again, I love this picture, I should say, because it is a little bit of the Authority, it is a little bit of a Kingdom Come, but I'm not mad about it. I freaking love it. Again, there is nothing that James Gunn had done, and before we get to that, but anything about this image, Joe, you want to point out, or just that you had thoughts on?
That there is color. That there is color, not that it does not involve the words gray, brown, or black. I clearly can tell what's blue, I can clearly tell what's yellow, and I can clearly tell what's red. Now, there is some white, but because it's James Gunn, we're going to allow that color, that lack of color, or that inclusion, that lack of complete color, because he has all other colors here. And if they can't see my mouse, I'm circling the S.
Oh man,
this is kind of why I didn't want Green Lantern to show up in the other universe, is because there's no such thing as a muted gray lantern.
Yeah, that's very true.
There's a Black Lantern, but we don't. He wasn't ready to put zombies in there. He was too busy talking about post-apocalyptic society with clowns.
Pretty much. But Gunn is not the only thing he has done today. Gunn has actually given us two other bits of information. Like I said, Gunn has been very upfront about every DC thing that's going on, because either he's running his own social or he's got a group of people that's doing it, because this picture has been circulating the internet of David Cornsweet in Superman costume. James Gunn was asked, is it real or fake? And James Gunn has answered this in the most James Gunn fashion. Let's see. Can the man left take a photo holding an amorphous black blob while looking through an eyeball on the front of his cap? Can the man on the right's torso grow out of his right hip and be stupid enough to wear his pants with the drawstring in the back? Are David Cornsweet's hands made of wax without any bones or veins? And might Superman's trunks be knitted with yarn? Ask yourself these questions, and I'm certain you'll be able to answer the question on your own. Damn. So I'm assuming a no. It's just, I don't get me wrong. The more it's one of those pictures, and I'm just gonna be honest about this. It is really one of those pictures that the more you look at it, the worse it gets. And I get it. Me and Joe have talked about this, and others on this podcast have talked about this multiple times. We love when certain things are coming out. This is true. We love to hear the news about it. This is also true. But much like a Deadpool movie that we're really looking forward to, Deadpool and Wolverine, that seems to be churning out different bits about the movie almost every day, this does more harm than good. Like, for example, it used to be a long time ago, and Joe remembers this as well, and probably guys like us who were born of certain generations. You guys remember there weren't that many trailers. You maybe got one or two movie trailers for a movie, and that was it. You never really got up to 2, 3, or maybe 4 trailers for a movie. Because sometimes that can be seen as a bad sign for a movie, that you have to keep on advertising different aspects of the movie in order to garner attention. Where in this case, yes, we know James Gunn's Superman movie is the first crack of his DC universe. We know this. We also know that he is doing original actors. He's not doing anybody that's of a known stature. Which again,
that's untrue.
Which one?
Viola Davis.
Well, she's more like deserved, though. I mean, who else can we see her playing Amanda Waller?
True. We also got Sean Gunn turning his Weasel.
Again, I have to ask, who else can do Weasel?
Alan Tudyk. I mean, if that man can be a Hawaiian chicken, that man could be a 6 foot killer weasel.
I could think. You know what? I agree with you, but Alan Tudyk could be so many other characters in DC. I mean, let's not just give him
Juilliard for that.
I'm just saying we can give him a lot more DC characters than Weasel. But point taken. But what I'm getting at is Gunn is actually taking a lot of careful measures with this. So people are always going to try to find things, try to find clickbait, try to find any scoop they can so they can put it out there and say that the first person to do it. I'm just saying we know the movie's coming. We know the movie is scheduled to come sometime July next year. Let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy the mystique of it before it arrives. But Joe, your thoughts on this?
No, I mean, aside from them changing, the picture itself is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhat mildly provocative of the old George Sears Superman, just in like the way the uniform looks with the muscle suit.
Yeah.
Not so much the S, but like the trunks and the suit itself.
Yeah, like the skip leg day.
Like overall, the fact that we're retitling Superman Legacy just to Superman, I mean, that goes without saying. I mean, the only other title I could definitely see them doing is What's So Good About Truth, Trust the American Way, or well, we can't use Superman the Elite. That's actually the animated movie will somewhat be based on this. This is somewhat based around it's all a weird thing.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I dig it in the grand scheme of things. I mean, not the AI art. Obviously, that's just going to be, we're going to be seeing more and more of that as time moves on, and we're just not going to be able to see it. Like you were also saying, with trailers and whatnot, movies, the closer you got to a movie coming out, I remember when I was little, you would see trailers left and right on ads, but those were also children animated features during Saturday morning cartoons where you got to see that commercial for, let's date ourselves. You got to see that commercial for The Land Before Time in between Dink and Alf Fairy Tales every Saturday morning, almost consistently until that movie came out. Pretty sure just across the networks there.
The fact that you described that, I'm like, I remember exactly how the ad went too. That's the sad part. But
look, I could have said Rude Dog and the Dweebs.
Yeah, you could have went so much different, but that would really be aging ourselves. But the other part of the news I want to get to for Superman, again, like I said, Gunn has been very forthcoming about the information. This was actually confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter that we do have a Perry White. Wendell Pierce has been cast as the editor-in-chief for the Daily Planet in the Superman movie. Again, if you don't know who Wendell Pierce is, this man has starred in many a television series, movies, and plays. He is a very established actor, a very well-awarded actor, and I could actually see him playing Perry White in Superman because, again, the man's got range. So I got no issue with this. But, Joe, your thoughts on this?
I do not know who he is. Is he British?
No, he's American.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea who this dude is.
I'm trying to think of where, because has he ever played in a superhero movie? Oh,
I was kind of hoping it'd be Roy Wood Jr. for whatever reason.
if it was Roy, you know what? I would love to see. Of all comedians, I would love to see Roy Ward Jr. in a movie. But no. Again, not mad about this casting for Wendell Pierce. Again, I'm really got to think about that. I may have to go back and do some research. Has he ever been in a superhero movie? Because I want to say yes, but I cannot think about which one.
I mean, I've seen other things in superhero movies, so
yeah, but I was trying to think because I think this is his first. No, he wasn't Jack Ryan. Well, Jack Ryan was more of a spy thriller. It wasn't really a movie, although it was on Amazon Prime. But I'm honestly trying to think. And for those in the comments, if you can remember if he was in a superhero movie, please let me know because I am drawing a blank. If he
please know that Joe will count Blank Man and Meteor Man as superhero films.
Yes, because they are. But it is gonna bug me. It's like, what movie was he in a superhero movie? But anyway, that being said, guys, that's really all the Superman movie news that we do have. Again, I am loving the fact that Gunn has decided to just go ahead and just name it Superman. No issues there. And like I said, casting wise looks great. Not mad about Wendell Pierce. I am loving that fact. I'm loving the fact that we're just going to see more of the DC characters in this Superman movie, honestly. But before we get on to the next piece of business, we also have to say this. Yes, we know as of yesterday, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been released. We know some people in Japan are having some difficulties because it's not their fault. Unfortunately, the games, when they came out, the install disc and the play disc were mislabeled. So folks were having a little bit of difficulty not only installing the game, but getting to play. That being said, I know we say this every time something comes out, whether it's a game, a show, or anything of that nature. But guys, this is the early stages of Rebirth. Yes, we've been waiting to play part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII series. Yes, we have questions about whether or not they're going to stick to the script or they're going to just sit there and throw the script out. Yes, we would all like to know, but if you do not have a PS5, if you do not have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but if you have both of those things, do everybody a favor, let it slide. Just no spoilers. Please do not go on TikTok, streaming. Okay, let me stress this because I know a lot of players do this. If you stream and you stream Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which somehow you have gotten past Square and Sony. I don't know how you got past them, but if you are going to be streaming it, give everybody a heads up. You're playing the game in its full entirety. You will see spoilers. You will see surprises. If you don't want to see this, please don't watch. At least give that. But for everybody else, I'm talking about those on TikTok. Please don't. Please don't. Nobody wants to scroll through social media and see your gameplay and be like, I did not want to know that. Or I didn't want to see that. So unless you're giving a heads up, which I have to give a lot of streamers credit, a lot of streamers are sitting there saying, I am playing this in its full entirety. If you don't want to watch it, please don't watch my stream. They're giving you a heads up before they start playing. So I give them credit for that. But for everybody else, no spoilers. Enjoy the game. Let everybody who has lives, children, things of that nature, let them get to the game in their own time and allow them to enjoy it spoiler free. That is all we ask. But Les, Joe, you want to add anything else to that?
I mean, I'm playing it. I'm just not streaming it.
Yeah. So I'm like, again,
I got to the grasslands, and that's about it before I fell asleep on the couch. Besides, there's only one thing. Where this game ends, is at the end of original disc 1.
Yep.
So there's only one spoiler out there that anybody in this thing cares about. And truthful, if you think about it, there's only one spoiler anyone cares about in this game.
I'm agreeing. I just don't want to say it. I'm agreeing. I just don't want to say it because, like I said, I know
I'm not going to say it either.
Yeah, I know you're not. Yeah, I know you're not. But it's
I
just
have
like,
no idea. I literally just got to the grasslands, so I literally stepped out of calm and found a chocobo. That's it. That's as far as I've gotten. I am 3 hours into the game because I've been skipping all the cutscenes in the beginning because I already did them in the demo.
Nice. Well, for everyone else, guys, all we ask, no spoilers. Let everybody enjoy the game. But speaking of games, Pokemon decided to have a Pokemon Day a little bit earlier this week, and with some new information. Now, because we don't have a lot to go on today for this week, guys, we are going to play the entire Pokemon presentation in its entirety. Joe, anything about it before I play it?
Wait, what are we talking about? The full thing in presentation? We talking about Zeta A, or are we talking about the whole direct?
No, not the whole direct. The whole Pokemon Presents, the whole 12 minutes.
I was gonna at least bring up the card game.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, how incredibly predatory that's about to be. Like that poor man just keep getting push notifications. Like, by the way, my dude, you got to pack. Sitting there waking up in the morning, you got to pack. Working, getting yelled at by the boss. Your phone dings. You got to pack. Trying to eat dinner, put the dinner in the microwave. You got to pack. It's Wednesday night, and I'm down to my business socks. And you know what that means? I got to pack.
Oh, God.
Now, if you're getting free packs, that's fine. But it's one of those things like, it's actually made by Creatures Inc. and DNA. So the actual people that make the actual Pokemon card game and the people that are currently making the EX Masters game. By the way, if you guys did not pick up my Flight of Concord references, shame on you. So, like, and it's not even like real Pokemon trading card game. It's going to be like a very abbreviated version that's going to make it like pick up, have a quick match, and go. Like, they even says, like, this is going to be a very, very quick version of the game. We're just, like, putting in, like, versions of cards that everybody's going to be good, which is fine with me. That means I can make a steel deck, and if my luck runs out like it has been, I'll be able to make my Mega Aggron Belly Flop deck again. God, I miss that deck. And keep going. Other than that, the new one, the Zeta A, before we play it in there, I have my thoughts and I have my theories. I know that poor child that got whisked away to Ho-Oh. I wonder if he just got a master's in engineering degree as an adult, and I was just like, wow, what a coincidence. I'm going to whisk you away because I really need a civil engineer right now.
So, kidnapping. Kidnapping. Nice. Oh, boy. All right. Well, here, guys, is the presentation that they showed for Pokemon Presents. And that's not it. There we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokémon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokémon Day. This is the date that the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games were first released in Japan. Our adventures with Pokémon, which started with the simple fun of collecting, trading, and battling in the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games, have expanded to fit into so many facets of daily life, including walking and sleeping. We'll keep challenging ourselves to create new ways to enjoy Pokemon, and we hope you'll continue your adventures with us. Today, we will be bringing you all the latest news about Pokemon, including our newest titles. Mr. Utsunomiya, please take it away.
Hello, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokémon Company. I hope everyone has enjoyed their adventures in the Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet games so far. To commemorate Pokémon Day, We've planned a series of Terra Raid battle events where you'll be able to face off against a mighty Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. The first of these Terra Raid battle events will begin tomorrow. We hope you will all enjoy these raids. Today, I'd also like to share the latest updates on a number of our other games. Please have a look at this.
A collaboration event with Pokémon Go is on its way. Pikachu wearing Cap's hat is making its debut. It even knows an attack new to Pokémon Go, Volt Tackle. Charcadet, Armarouge, and Ceruledge are coming too. And Liko and Roy will be dropping in when you snap a pic and go snapshot. So set out on an adventure with your new friends.
I never give up! We're just getting started. We're the greatest in the world! You're the greatest and strongest partner I could ask for. Fight!
Moving on, please have a look at this video. What you just saw was the world's first look at Pokemon trading card game Pocket. This game lets you easily collect Pokemon cards, which players all over the world have enjoyed since they debuted in 1996, but in a new digital format. The Pokemon Company is developing this game as a three-party collaboration with Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokemon trading card game, and DNA, our partners in the development of Pokemon Masters EX. To mark the launch of this title, here's a message from Mr. Yuji Kitano, President and CEO of Creatures. Mr. Kitano, take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Yuji Kitano from Creatures Inc. I'd like to start by thanking everyone for enjoying the Pokemon trading card game. With Pokemon trading card game Pocket, we hope to bring you all a new way to enjoy the Pokemon trading card game, so we are hard at work developing digital cards. When we develop physical cards, we strive to please by taking great care with our paper quality, colors, and printing process. Since this game uses mobile devices rather than paper, we're challenging ourselves to express that care in new ways that are only possible digitally, such as using the characteristics of the screen to show off brilliant colors and stylish effects. One way we're accomplishing this is with immersive cards, which give players the experience of leaping into the world of the card illustration. What's more, we've developed new streamlined game rules based on our existing battle system, so you can enjoy a quick battle during the free moments in your day. Our three companies are all working hard to deliver a fun experience for those of you who already enjoy the Pokemon trading card game, as well as those who've never played before. We hope you look forward to the results of our latest efforts in the world of the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kitano. We plan to launch Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket within 2024. Please look forward to more details in the future. Just one more thing. We'd like to end today's presentation with one final video for you all. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, guys. So that was actually the entire Pokemon Direct. And as Joe pointed out, I didn't realize that when he talked about every time he got a pack until it popped up, that I'm like, oh, I get it now. That could be annoying.
He was on a date and got a pack, and then probably that date ended right then and there.
Yeah, I mean, it was either finish the date or finish the battle. But no, it looks like Pokemon, the Pokemon Company is coming out a lot of mobile games. Of course, the Pokemon Legends Z to A, which is actually going to be releasing in 2025. It looks great. I need to get back into Pokemon because it's getting to the point to my son is going to be able to crawl and pick his starter kit. So I need to get myself back into it, especially finding those squishies, because I am definitely recording that when it happens. But Joe, any other thoughts you want to add to the Pokemon Direct? What you liked, what you didn't like?
I mean, I didn't really nothing really stood out to me until the final two, which was the card game.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice something very unique at the Pokemon Z to A. It said releasing simultaneously
In 2025.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
Key word in that statement is simultaneously.
Yeah.
So that's telling me that this is probably a Switch 2 game.
Yeah. I can see
and
that.
I believe there's an email that went out too, or something is like premiering in 2025 on the Switch families and the family Switch systems.
Yeah.
And yes, this is definitely a Switch 2 system. I just think they can't put out anything because one, the immense backlash they got from rushing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is why this is not coming out at the end of the during the normal release date, which is usually mid to late November. And it's being pushed all the way out to 2025. Also, it's very interesting where we're going this time around. We're going to Lumini City. We're going back to Pokemon X and Y. That's a game that had a very, very hefty story. That's the one where they had the 3,000-year Pokemon War, and you actually visited the battle sites and some of the Pokemon in the graves, and you had that giant Forever King because his Pokemon or a Pokemon cursed him with eternal life, and all he did was searching for his one Pokemon that died. I think it was like a Flabébé or something. But so we're going back to Lumini City and doing urban redevelopment. I'm wondering if this is us modernizing the city from the picking up from the end of the war and the city having to get itself back on its feet and revitalizing itself, becoming a more modernized city, or what. I wonder if that's the story, because it does specifically say urban redevelopment program in Lumini City, and the only thing I can think of that would make sense is after a 3,000-year war, your central city hub may need some reconstruction because you guys just went through a 3,000-year war.
I would assume so. But no, it would make me think that too. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, that they may package this as the next Switch 2 deal. I mean, the same thing they did with Zelda Breath of the Wild, the same thing they did with Mario Kart. They might package it with the game. So I guess it makes sense that if you're coming out with a Switch 2, you need to actually have a game that goes along with it to boost the value. It makes sense. I'm not going to argue that, but we will definitely see in 2025. But since we had some good news, guys, we do have to cover some bad news. It's never easy for people to lose their jobs. Unfortunately, we're hearing this a lot in the video game community. Unfortunately, the reason why I'm talking about this, guys, is basically because Sony Interactive earlier this week sat there and said that they are releasing 900 employees. So 900 employees have been given their pink slips as of this week. However, that's not the only company. EA has also said that they have to release 670 employees. This was a statement that they gave, quote unquote, "We are also sunsetting games and moving away from development of future licensed IPs that we do not believe will be successful in our changing industry. This greater focus allows us to drive creativity, accelerate innovation, and double down on our biggest opportunities, including our own IP, sports, and massive online communities." Coincidentally, with this news that we found out, guys, is that the very awaited Mandalorian game, which was supposed to also be done, has been scrapped as well. So that's actually bad. That's actually news that came out just yesterday. But with these, I mean, EA itself is a big company. Sony itself, also a big company. We also did report, I think I want to say a couple of podcasts ago, that Microsoft was also, even after the acquisition of Activision / Blizzard, was trimming off employees. I'm going to toss this to Joe, but before I say this, this could be bad. And the reason why I say it could be bad, guys, because again, we are talking about an industry that is moving away from physical media. It is trying its hardest to move away from physical media. It wants everything to be digital. Everything wants to be digital downloads. But we also are seeing a anticipation of terrible games that are lagging, games that are broken, games that have multiple patch issues, things of that nature. And when you see companies that are letting their employees go, I wonder about the quality of these games that are coming out, especially with EA. EA is going to be banking on College Football 25. They're going to be banking on that because they spent so much money to basically bring that particular game back. At the same time, Sony, because of its acquisition of small indie studios, will probably be trimming the fat on their side. Even though with Microsoft getting something as big as Activision Blizzard and Bethesda are still trimming the fats on their side. Do I think that this will affect video games? Yes. Do I have any faith that video games will get better? I don't think video games are going to get better as long as this corporate mindset of we have to reduce in order to be better. That always scares me as a gamer because, number one, games are effing expensive. For all those that don't know, $70 is not easy to part with on anything. $100 if you decide to get the more upgraded packages. $100, $120, or even these like World of Warcraft used to have a monthly service. StarCraft used to have a monthly. StarCraft has a monthly service, and then you have live service games, which all these microtransactions always scare me because that tells me that you're pushing out a game that is not finished, that you're asking for full price on, and you're expecting the player to be extremely patient with. But that's just me. But Joe, what about you?
To an extent, I agree with that. The biggest worry I had about this is when Sony pretty much is like, we don't really have a lot coming out in 2024. It's like, there goes some jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's Spider-Man, and their Spider-Man is getting its update here in 6 days.
Yeah,
6 days, the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't think we have anything like directly from Sony for a while, to my knowledge. Now, again, I said to my knowledge, Lord only knows, because like official trailers, release trailers, and launch trailers are always coming out on YouTube for Sony, but that doesn't mean like it's Sony first party.
Right.
EA is EA. It's unfortunate we're losing a Mandalorian project, but let's face it, EA has never been really good with the Star Wars license ever since they acquired it. I mean, the best we got was maybe X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and Battlefield. Well, no, Battlefield 2 is just straight play to win, or pay to win. Pay to win until we literally bullied them into knocking it off.
True. I mean, Cal Kestis games are okay, but that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, our biggest meme is telling him to shut up.
True.
No, those are actually really good games. I'm glad I played them both. I don't know why Vader has to be in both of them, but it's whatever. Activision Blizzard, I honestly think that was more of a cleaning than it was an actual. We're not doing that great. We need to remove the thing. I think moving out good old Golden Parachute Kotick and his kind may have been needed.
Well, I mean, yeah, Blizzard did need the cleansing. I kind of forgot about that little dark story.
The only thing I will disagree about is some DLC on this, because this is actually a big point of contention in Tekken right now. We got a lot of people complaining about the fact that Tekken Shop just got implemented and people are having to pay $4 for costumes as opposed to Street Fighter. We got to pay for $10. $10. I think MK is also $10, and it's like $10 for like
one item
fatalities.
Yeah.
and whatnot, and like even Harada, and we're gonna bring him up almost.
Mhm.
I feel like almost every podcast now, but the man is like James Gunn. He will tell you personally these things, and he like came out and was like, "Look, there's free stuff in this show." Oh yeah, I actually said this. To you.
You had a wonderful segue. I was like, and here it is.
Oh no, this isn't about the pluggers. This is
Yeah.
actually about the DLC because people were complaining about the shop. It's like, I already paid $70. Why am I paying more money? It's like, do you have any idea how much of a production cost hike 8 was compared to 7?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, we gotta pay for these licenses because the license stuff is free to my knowledge.
Yeah.
We still in Japan gotta pay licensing fees. You want new DLC characters? We got to have production money to make that too. Do you want the actual good? Because Tekken right now has actually decent netcode.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want that to persist? We got to pay server maintenance and server costs. Well, they also said someone was complaining, it's like, we had 7 seasons of great DLC for Tekken, and so I was like, if you buy in the shop, we may have 10 seasons of DLC
And that's
for Tekken. So like, it's a double-edged sword. Like,
it is, but at the same time,
it's how it's implemented.
Right. That's the thing. If the video game marketing system is microtransactions moving forward, just say it. I can be okay with that, knowing up front that okay, we want this game to go in seasons. We don't want it just to be a one shot. We want this to be a multi-season game. Okay, I can understand that. That being said, you do need money to run the system. You need money to upgrade the system. You need money to patch the system. Again, completely understand that. But I think the fact of, kind of like games like God of War was such a complete game that we were just surprised when the DLC dropped for it and it was free and no one saw it coming. That was a shocker because we're not used to that. We're not used to a full DLC for a game that we thought was complete, by the way, and it was also free. It's almost unheard of. It was like CD Projekt Red before they got Hollywood, when they used to give their updates away. So, but I get it for fighting games. For fighting games, I've accepted it because fighting games are going to have seasons. Certain sandbox games are going to have seasons. I mean, Fortnite, Apex Legends, unknown player battlegrounds, Roblox. They're all going to have seasons. That's just the marketing system from now on. That's why I was like, you can't. I mean, even when Fortnite came out, the whole thing was skins. He's like, you got to buy this skin if you want this skin on your player. And I'm like, you basically did digital currency and you marketed in such a way that skins became the new ringtones. They're basically ringtones. You basically purchase them in order to have them. Digital purchases, which again goes back to microtransactions. Do I hate them? Yes. Are they necessary? Unfortunately,
Sometimes.
Yes. I'll put it this way: for specific games, I'll say yes.
I look at it this way: if it's gatekeeping an tool that is normally implemented in a game solely for the sake of getting a few extra dollars out of it, that is bad. My example I use would be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I got the standard edition. So that means I don't get New Game Plus until I pay the extra $10 to get the right to use New Game Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gatekeeping meant to make sure that I buy the deluxe edition so that I can carry over my progress. Unfortunately for them, it's an RPG. And after I finish a 120-hour Yakuza thing, I'm not going back to that for quite a while.
Now that's paywall. Now that's paywall blocking. I'll give you that. I'll completely agree with that. That's paywall.
Yeah, paywall blocking or keeping a feature gated behind a price wall disguised as DLC is bad and predatory. Yeah. But stuff like what we're describing in Tekken thing, where it's like, hey, I really want Jin's Tekken 4 hoodie costume. I got to pay $4. Man, that sucks. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, this $4 can be transformed into helping pay for, God, I don't know, putting Tifa in Final Fantasy VII, putting Tifa in Tekken 8, like everybody wants. Does my money help contribute to that? That's great. To the person who's complaining about the shop, you don't have to buy anything, or you can just get the free stuff and keep going.
Pretty much.
It's what it is, because there are so many ways to implement that. Because guys, after we get done with this plugging as we move on to the Harada with the plugging thing, I'll let you know what the Tekken community is currently like right now. But we'll move on to the next thing because it spins into it.
Oh yeah, because I was like, I had that up there because you said Harada. Speaking of Harada, and we did cover plugging because Joe, for all those that did not watch the last podcast, can you explain what's going on with plugging in Tekken?
Okay, so first off, keep in mind plugging is a non-sexual term for a change. Like, that has to be said. You know why?
I feel like that was a Deadpool joke waiting to happen. That's like,
yes.
Plugging's not new to us, except to Disney. I kind of felt like that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, to what is known as plugging is to remove the LAN cable or disconnect the Wi-Fi prior to entering the win or loss screen in order to retain your ranked point status. Or otherwise, you're just pulling the plug or disconnecting your network.
Right.
So during the Tekken Talk, Harada and all the people sat there's like, hey, if you get plugged, first you need to report, get a clip of it if you can, or if not, get a screenshot of the plugging incident, and then go to Tekken and go to the Twitter, tag the Tekken Twitter, put up the picture, put up the video, tag Harada and tag some of the other people on the development team. Let them know, because this is what's going to happen. So as it says here, now Michael has sent the development team and me a huge Excel list. The file name of the Excel list is people who are going to be banned, because, we try to keep this as monetizing as possible, despite the fact that Nintendo will most definitely be coming after this podcast for copyright claim.
Oh yeah,
we played a full direct.
But the funny part was we're still live, so I'm surprised. But you're probably right that we'll probably get knocked down later. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. It contains a lot of pluggers, particularly bad players and those who brag about their plugging behavior on social network sites or circle with a big red bloody X box.
So Harada's not playing. Like he is very, very conscious of the game. He wants competition, but they want to root out those that are trying to protect their status through non-honorary means, i.e. plugging. So I get the fact of, okay, so if you're going to cheat, we're going to ban you. I completely understand that. So I give him props for that. That's the best way to handle it.
So this has actually already been implemented to a degree. So what has happened? Tekken just went through a big update. We got our Tekken shop. We got some other stuff. We got some balance patches. Again, more crying will be spoken here in just a moment. But people that have been caught cheating have already gotten their first initial warning. They have not been banned yet, but continual usage has been banned. But anybody caught in this first round has had the rank completely reset to beginner. Oh. And all their progress has been erased in ranked. You can go find that over in Event Hubs. They have a more up-to-date stuff on that. A lot of buffs, a lot of debuffs happened in this thing list. People in the Tekken community are already crying because both Azucena and King both got buffed.
I wonder why.
Dragunov, oh no, they are two of the hardest things to deal with right now because King players all play the same. You know who you are. Of course. Yeah. With the exception of the more higher ranked King players, but we'll save the crying for later. This is me telling you people from what you do in the community. If you watch my streams on Tekken, I don't care who I fight. What was it? Dragunov, who I play, got a little bit debuffed. Oh well, wow. I'll just learn a workaround because he legit was doing more damage than he probably needed to sometimes. I'll be the first to admit that. Okay. But the Tekken community right now as a whole is this dude's plugging. I refuse to give rematches. Crying, why won't you give rematches? All king players are the same. You either armor and throw, or I won't fight king players because all they do is grab. Motherfucker, you are posing a grappling character. What do you think's gonna happen? That's like complaining that Zangief is only gonna kill you with only by grabbing you. What is his only strategy? What has been his only strategy since Street Fighter 2?
I mean,
Grab you and power drive you.
You're not wrong, but this damn.
I was just saying, people, huh?
The logic behind that. I can't fight a grappler. Sounds like it's a skill issue. That's all I'm saying.
If you see a lot of the lower ranking players, they only do two things. They do armor moves, which is the power crush, so they can crush you out of it, and then they grab you. The skill issue comes with not being able to break the chain combos. So what you do in this, people, and I will tell you this because I do this myself. I have a hard time with these things. If you go into replay, it tells you, oh, you got chain grab. Here's where you press the correct button to get out of the chain grab. Do you want to practice this? Go to yes. Azucena is also being a problem, but you know what? She's a new character which no one has a lot of experience with, so I completely understand that. But yes, Keith Buck, we are talking Tekken and people talking about people crying, and I, for one, do not take it. I stream. I do not have commentary on my stream because I'm very focused. And I accept all comers. I accept all wins. I accept all losses because all losses to me are knowledge on how I will get better. Now, I have been known not to give a rematch, but if I do not give a rematch, it is because there is something wrong with the internet. That's the only time I will not rematch somebody.
Okay.
So I am not, but to that thing, I will absolutely agree. If you do not get, no one is Rio to rematch. Should you rerun the set? If you want to, it's a courtesy. It is something I will extend to you, or it's something you extend to me if I ask you to rematch. But no one is owed a rematch. If you think you're owed a rematch, you are wrong.
Now, if you've already agreed on a best of 3, that's completely different. But if you're randomly meeting somebody, you're not always guaranteed a rematch. You might, like I said, you might run like a person like me or Joe, win or loss, be like, hey, you want to run one back just so you have a fair shot. But that's not always, like you said, it's not always guaranteed. At the same time, you're not, and I guess that's the whole thing that kind of bothers me about some online fighters. Some online people that play, it's like, you're not owed a rematch. This isn't tournament play. Tournament play, this is not tournament. This is not competition play. So you're not going to automatically get a rematch whether you win or lose. It's just like, it's up to the person if you want to play them again. So
someone posted the other day, and I think I had the best comment out of everybody in the group. It's like, you know what I hate is when I see 3-3-3-3-4-4, 3-4-4-4, 3-3-3-4-4-4-4-4, and it's like, I think I'm reading this in Korean. Because they're just like sitting there and it's like you're just talking about a harangue stream, which I can just say duck, block, or sidestep. Yeah, you don't always keep up. You don't always rematch. That's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine. But again, with Tekken, like I said, with fighting games, you always, and like I said, I hate to say that the fighting game community is toxic. It's not all the way toxic. It's just got a few people that just want to ruin it for everybody else.
So here's the one thing I will absolutely agree with somebody on this, and this is the best thing, is like, thank God Tekken does not have voice chat. This would be so much worse than Mortal Kombat. I don't have the time of day to be called everything under the sun and just tell people when they call me the N-word, it's like, sir, I'm Japanese.
You know, the worst part about it is, that like a lot of people don't know, a lot of those chats are recorded and screened, and they're attached to your screen name and your IP address.
Oh yeah, no, it's hilariously bad. I am so glad Tekken 8 does not have voice chats.
Jesus, I could.
Now you can stream your voice if you're streaming, but there is like no in-game chat. I cannot tell you how many times I've probably done like the same move over and over and over again. But you know what? That's your fault. You're not blocking it. That's not my fault. I'm being cheap. If I'm getting free damage, I am absolutely exploiting that to win the match. If you're not going to block it, that's on you.
On you. That should be on a t-shirt. But moving right along, guys, we do have some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle news. If you like Mutant Mayhem, which again, I liked it. Joe, I believe you said you liked it as well, right?
Something about Yeet and the Tims.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. He says Keith Buck says I can't agree. What can't you agree on, Keith?
I'll give him a second on that way he responds. But yes, for all those about Mutant Mayhem, really quickly, guys, it is getting a sequel to that one. It actually has a scheduled sequel, has a release date for the Mutant Mayhem sequel, October 9th of 2026. The original director, Jeff Rowe, is returning, and every voice actor is also returning for the sequel as well. Again, it was actually pretty good. If you have not seen Teenage Mutant Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, it's available on Paramount Plus right now. But again, not complaining about that. I think it's a great idea to move forward with that one, just because it is a younger Ninja Turtles, and it was really fun. He was saying the spam attacks. That's what we were talking about, Keith. That for a lot of the spam attacks, it depends on how you defend them. Because again, for the longest time, it used to be Eddie Gordo. Eddie Gordo used to be the nemesis for a lot of people because they said, number one, you could spam him to death. Number two, they couldn't figure out his combos. But like me and Joe were saying, it depends on who's playing him, because whoever is playing him or playing against him, every fighter has weaknesses. They have strengths and weaknesses. Like for Eddie's, his whole thing was motion. Like in order for him to actually get his full combos off, he has to literally be in motion to where he can't be hit. Like it's almost like a counter. It's like a move counter strike. Problem is with Eddie Gordo is all you gotta do is block one move. You block one of his combos, and some people kind of get punch drunk. What I mean by that is they go into the full combo, even though the first hit is blocked, and leaves them open for everything else.
Plus, Eddie Gordo is going to have a completely new move list because we now have universal access to the low parry.
Mm-hmm.
So him getting into his giant leg swings, that's not going to work anymore, because the moment you see the first thing and him starting doing the hand spin, no, that's it. And to my defense on spamming attacks, their defense is weak. You exploit them until they learn.
Pretty much.
How we got to learn. It's how we got trained. Yes, he is coming back. He is the first DLC for Tekken.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, Keith, he has the Killmonger haircut like every other black character in video games and media since Black Panther.
I'm about to say since Black Panther, all of them have, good Lord, the Killmonger cut.
Actually, did he have the same haircut in Wakanda Forever?
Yes,
he did.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it since the theater, so I've completely forgotten.
Yeah, it's still the same Wakanda Forever. Well, it's longer, but it's still the same. Same type of Wakanda Forever.
Again, when you guys get him on a board station interview, you need to make him publicly apologize for that.
You know what? If we do,
even if it's just a joke, can you guys just get him to apologize for that? We got Clooney to apologize for Batman.
That's true, and yet somehow we got him in the Flash. But also with TMNT Turtles, there is a trailer because there is an arcade game coming out for it, Wrath of the Mutants. Here's a trailer.
I love being a turtle.
You picked the wrong time to mess with me.
Slice and dice.
Yakasha!
It's go time.
We got pizza! Rumble time!
Who that?
There's where I want!
Turbo power!
Baxter Stockman!
And as you can see, guys, that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade, Wrath of the Mutants. Will be available on April 23rd, which is not too far off from now for all consoles. This is following the Nickelodeon version of the Turtles, so you know the reason why it's a little bit weird shape. What are you gonna say, Joe?
Yeah, this is the 2014 CGI Turtles, not Rise, not the new ones, but Turtles is still Turtles and it's still good. I believe this actually was like a Nick arcade game that they expanded on, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they just turned it into a solid like side scroll brawler.
Yeah. What did he say? But they're making us pay it for an original character now. That's also crazy.
No.
Well, not really, because if you really think about it, how these Tekken games are set up, Eddie Gordo may have been a part of 4. And then, of course, he was part 5, 6, and whatnot. But it's not the fact that they're doing rich characters. Keep in mind, when Street Fighter came out, when Street Fighter 4 came out, it started out with a basis and then started adding on characters that were considered original in the previous games. Hence why 5 and 6 are looking the same way now. That you may have characters that are being added now in 6 that were initially part of the original starting roster when 5 came out. So that's not bad. I mean, like we're talking about earlier, like we were talking about a little bit earlier before we played this. They are, depending on how they're developing these fighting games, they're gonna be different. Like, number one, they're going off popularity, they're going off how they're doing the story, and number three, like Joe said, it comes back to money. It's like what the production cost is to make this character versus this character. Like, for example, let's take Street Fighter for 1 second. If you ask the fans, if we start off with 5 characters that you can play in Street Fighter, which 5 characters do you want? Now, that could be a debate. It could be a debate because everybody fights differently. But if you're being honest, what are you gonna say? Ryu?
Oh God, no. Makoto, Daigo from Rival Schools, Laura from Street Fighter 5, Abel from Street Fighter 4, and not G, but what was his? What was he? The dude that was the Iron Mask in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. X.
Now see, you'd be different. For me, it would be, if I was gonna say Ryu, Chun-Li, I would even go Guile, probably DJ because that's still one of my favorites, and I would probably, just to mess with people, I would probably get Zangief. But think about it. Between you and me, we just named 10 different characters that we would love to see as starting 5. So you can only imagine trying to pull gamers and say, which 5 can y'all agree on? This is the 5 we're starting out with. That is a nightmare. That is a nightmare because technically that whole thing can be skewed either way. But it is about money. That's what we're getting at. It is about money, just because you got to think that that's the way these games are going. They are going to be based on money. They are going to be based on popularity. They're going to be based on what's going to be the most return for the initial run. Now, if the initial run comes back fine, cool. We'll add on everybody else. We'll sit there and say, hey, do you want this person? Hey, do you want this person? Because I'm going to be honest, when I saw DJ in Street Fighter 6, I was like, I love what they did with him. I love the fact that, yes, his moveset has changed. It's more of a time beat kind of thing to it, but they evolved him. So in the same sense, Eddie Gordo in Tekken 8 is probably going to be a little bit more. It's probably going to be a little bit more evolved in his moveset.
They did. Harada confirmed that Eddie's going to have a slightly different move list because of how Tekken plays now.
Okay, so there you go. So there's nothing wrong with that, but like I said, it depends on the approach. Like I've been saying for the longest time, I want to see another Killer Instinct, but I want to see a brand new Killer Instinct. And don't get me wrong, the Killer Instinct that Iron Galaxy came out with is great, but I finally want to see a Killer Instinct 2. I am so tired of seeing Killer Instinct and then a rebooted Killer Instinct and then an all-new Killer Instinct. Give me 2 or 3 and let's just be done with it.
But we did get a Killer Instinct 2.
Yeah, but they called it was more like a rebooted one. But I do remember the title you're talking about, the arcade version. Yeah,
it eventually just came as KI Gold.
Yeah, and that's the thing I didn't like. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was updated with new characters, but again, as I've been saying in the previous podcast, there needs to be, because the fighting scene has changed so much, we do need to have another Killer Instinct. I'll even be happy with another Soul Calibur, even though 6 was.
Oh yeah, no, that's crap the bed, and that's not coming back for 10 years.
You're probably right, but no, it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like, or you can even go back to previous fighting games. Like me and Joe one day are gonna go back and say these are the fighting games that should actually have a shot of rebooting, and that's gonna be a list because between me and him, I'm pretty sure there's about 15 fighting games we could think of that could come back. Because I know
Technomancer 2, 2025.
Mine off the bat is Bloody Roar, Primal Rage, Original Sin. I mean, I can keep going. I mean, Streets of Rage remake. Yeah, there is one. A Streets of Rage remake did come out.
8.
Yeah, Streets of Rage. There is a Streets of Rage remake that came out, and I will point that out to you because I actually have that. It is actually very well done for Streets of Rage. What are you gonna say, Joe?
Oh, I was saying Waku 8.
Right. But again, guys, we're just saying that with fighting games, there is a politic community behind it, but we just want it to be new, we want it to be fair, we want it to be open. We know we're gonna have to pay a grip. Money goes up. We know everything goes up in your paycheck. We're gonna be paying more. We know that, but at least make it worth our while, like Helldivers does. Helldivers 2, which is the worst segue I've ever done on this show. Helldivers 2 has sat there and let us know, because if you played Helldivers, I played it through a friend's PS5, so it's first and foremost, Helldivers 2 is such a sleeper game for a third-person shooter. Highly recommend it if you have the ability to play it. Highly recommend it if you can get in. They did fix the server problem for now, which lets you know how many people are actually playing Helldivers 2. If you have the ability or you have $40, go ahead and play it. You will not be disappointed.
Well, there is one thing before we get into this.
Go for it.
Now there's a new problem with Helldivers 2.
What's that?
You will get kicked from the party if you do not have a meta build.
Yeah. It's crazy the level of, well, first they figured out that first they had renegades, which is people that are killing their own teams and, escaping, which again, they have bounties on their heads now.
It is coming to Xbox, Keith.
Yeah, it is coming to Xbox. Yeah, currently right now it is on PC and PS5, but trust me, it's coming to Xbox as popular as Helldivers 2 is. But the reason why I bring this up because Helldivers 2 may actually get mech gameplay. Keep in mind, this is actually leaked footage from Helldivers where it shows that a person actually has the mech and they're actually using it. Now, I'm going to be honest, when I first looked at this, I'm like, oh, Mech Warrior's going to sue.
I know exactly what that looks like, but it's not a Toad unit. That looks more like a Marauder.
Yeah, but I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, ooh, that's really close. And I mean really close. For all those that have never seen Mech Warrior, definitely they actually have Mech Warrior Mercenaries. Just look at the shots of it. You'll see why I sat there and I looked at Helldivers. I was like, I'm glad y'all want to introduce mechs. Might want to change the designs a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Might.
For those of us that are not in the mech community but in the anime community, a Marauder is what Chiron usually fights in the Robotech / Macross franchise. Please go take a look at that.
Mm-hmm. Also a great series. But again, Helldivers 2 is still a great game if you get a chance. If it does have mech gameplay in it, I'm all for it. The last trailer that we got, guys, again, is another trailer that's coming out that's called Vindictus Defying Fate. It looks good. It's not a Souls game, although it kind of does, but I'll let you guys be the judge of it. Here's a trailer. And that was Vindictus Defying Fate. As of right now, it doesn't have a release date, but it looks great. It does kind of remind me of Black Myth Wukong because of how the fighting style and how it looks. But again, I got no complaints. I'm definitely keeping my eye on that one. But Joe, any thoughts?
So, white chick against the furries. Got it. In Souls. Got it.
Oh, for people in the furry community, we do not mean that as an insult. That's just a description that Joe gave.
I'm neither inaccurate.
Ooh, we love the furry community. We love the furry community.
I did not say that.
It's like we're okay with the furries. Just don't come after us. Oh man. That was it.
He says it's not me.
I'm saying don't come after us. They got a group. But with that being said, guys, we'll actually keep tabs on that one as more information comes out about that. But yeah, that's really it. Because if you guys have not noticed over the last couple of weeks, we have delved into a lot of news. Thankfully, it's kind of been a slow news day. So as we are about to transition to our comics of the week, we always want to show love to Rick's Comic City. Again, Nashville's #1 place for comics, anime, mangas, collectibles, posters, pretty much everything nerdy or geeky. They got it. They have 2 locations, one in Nashville, Tennessee, and one in Clarksville, Tennessee. You can definitely check out their website at rickscomiccity.com. You'll be able to do your pull list, order trades or hardcovers. Again, we always want to show them love because they show us love. Let them know the folks at GetBit sent you. It doesn't give you any discounts, but then again, if you go up there and look at go on their TVs, you see our handsome mugs playing on their shows. So definitely check out Rick's Comic City if you are in the Nashville area or Clarksville area. And of course, if you are not in any of those areas, please support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. Again, we cannot stress this enough, especially to the kids. Kids, right now you may not be understanding, but books are being taken away from you. What we usually say here, and what Joe's got up on the screen right now, read the banned books, kids, because there's things in there's books that you really should know they don't want you to know. And I'm not just talking the nonfiction. Read the fiction, read the fantasy. Don't just read it. I mean, stories can be found everywhere, and a library can be a great place for learning. And to keep in mind, comic books and everything else, a library, comics libraries, magazines, libraries keep them. So again, enjoy the library. And of course, you have a mom and pop's comic book store in your area, support them, keep them running. You will be surprised what you find there, especially for us. Whenever I go to Rick's Comic City or The Great Escape or Game Trader or 5 other places that I go to. But again, if you have a mom and pop's comic store in your area, definitely go there, keep them alive, support them, because you are going to miss them and that library when they're gone. So with that being said, Joe, I know you have a comic pool list for us, sir. So whenever you're ready.
Right after we talk about Shogun.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Shogun. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you, because I was completely forgetting about Shogun. So Shogun is a new show on FX because FX needs something because they don't got Suns, they don't got Mayans, and I think they gave up on the strain. But Shogun, for all those that don't know, is the new FX series. Basically, it is I forgot the period. Help me out, Joe. What was the period they're covering in Shogun? Or do you remember?
The 1600s of Japan.
Okay, which is basically, and it's based off. I forgot the name of the feudal lord that it's actually based off of. But if you have not seen it, it is available now. Thank you. It is now available on Netflix. It is available on FX or Hulu if you have Hulu as well. Joe, I know you only seen one episode. I've seen one episode. I had to go back and review my history on it, but it to me is great. I don't want to get too much into detail because again, it is a brand new show. I think it only has one episode, two episodes out right now. So I think it's great. I highly recommend it.
Check the group chat.
Yep, got it. But Joe, really quickly, what do you got on that?
Oh, I love the show so much. I'm listening to the podcast. First thing that came to mind is, wow, Hiroyuki Sanada's English has gotten so good. I have now started recognizing some Japanese actors because two of the main characters I just got finished watching them in Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Mariko was the main character, Kate, in that show, and Ishido played her dad in Godzilla, so that was kind of fun. It's like, hey, I can recognize people. Beautiful imagery. The costume work is fantastic. My only problem with Shogun is that it's basically a white savior show, but you know, that's what the book was.
As we're about to play,
I won't let that tamper with me, but that is what this is kind of about.
Oh, as we play the trailer, if you haven't seen it,
go ahead and play the trailer.
Hear me, my son. I alone will tell you the truth. Death is the only punishment here.
I have not told you my family name, but it is well known in Japan. Many years ago, a great injustice stole everything from me. I have learned one truth, that enemies are everywhere and friends nowhere. To show your true heart is to risk your life. Because death can come for us at any moment.
These are dire times. Hinomotoは戦乱の世に立ち返るわけ。Doomed lovers, cursed kings. These people are godless savages. Or maybe they just don't give a shit what you think. 時は来た。溺れ高ぶった逆賊から日の本を守らねばならん。
もはや戦議は終わったと思ってよいのじゃな。
動けない。
その方、己の敵の正体が分かっておらぬのじゃ。
You cannot play their games. That's how they dominate. A title revered through the ages. Shogun.
And that was the trailer for Shogun. Again, guys, if you have not seen it, it is available on Hulu or FX, depending on what you have, or your cable or content providers. Again, I like it. As Joe said, there is a complex there, so hey, you're aware. But with that being said, guys, we
Hopefully,
can actually go.
hopefully they will downplay that in particular aspect.
Say what?
Said hopefully they'll downplay that particular aspect, and he's just like a political pawn as opposed to was in the original like 1980s Shogun series.
Hopefully, we'll find out. But I do see, sir, that you have the comics up. So whenever you're ready.
Yes, I must make things larger.
That's what she said.
All right, so we got Green Arrow number 9. This is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Sean Izuki. I can't read that correctly. Colors by Romulo Fernando Jr. This was not a bad issue. This is just actually the setup of the upcoming summer series, because we now know the upcoming summer series is going to be called Absolute Power, where Waller will start taking away. She is going to be the main bad guy in this upcoming series. We now also know this event will be written by Mark Waid. This setting it up. She wants Ollie to start working with her and giving her inside secrets. So in exchange for Roy's location and the promise of a full reuniting of the Arrow family, which has almost never been done. Not a bad issue.
Yeah, of course, Waller is still Waller with Peacemaker, and boy, every time I see Peacemaker in a DC comic, I'm waiting for season 2. Like Gunn said, it's ready to go, but without hearing Wigwam, it's just not the same. But it was a good issue. I dug it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Next up, we got Power Girl number 6. This is written by Leah Williams with art by Marguerite Sauvage, and I guess also colors by Marguerite Sauvage, because I don't see a colorist. This is a long-awaited team up between Power Girl and Supergirl. There seems to be a new drug hitting the youth, and it is, for whatever reason, teleporting them to kind of a Wonderland, Wizard of Oz-esque world. Yes.
Yep.
I also
and we
season 2. This is fun. I just want to continue promoting the Power Girl book, because I feel like she's one of those DC characters that always needs a firm, stable title. And since Action Comics has moved away from the Superman family, this is really the only place I can kind of get that Superman family fix. Plus, it's just fun seeing these two interact, since they are technically the same person, but a different person, and they have very different personalities.
Yeah.
So seeing them being science bros is kind of funny.
I'm going to admit, this one kind of lost me a little bit. It may have been, this issue just might have been a miss for me, but I kind of lost interest in like halfway through.
I really enjoyed it, but then again, I always can dig a good Power Girl story, and when you get stuff like this where they're so antagonistic but they're the same person, it always makes me laugh. Moving on over, we have Miles Morales number 17. This is post Gang War. Gang War officially ended this week, guys. We're just not covering it because that book's crap.
Because of who's? Because I'm sorry, I was gonna say because of the artist.
No, it's just that's just not a good book. Like we had other books that were so much better than Amazing Spider-Man 44. This time, it's not even being the petty part of the bad art. It's just we had better books to look at. Also, to note that the legacy numbering is Miles Morales number 299, meaning next month. Miles has been around for 300 issues. That is a great milestone for a character, especially for a newer character who's had almost an uninterrupted series since his inception way back in the Ultimate Spider-Man book. I hope for many, many more with Miles. The whole process of this book is Miles and his team, which is now Glorp, the one of the flawed clones from the Miles Morales clone saga, and Miles' other team, Ms. Marvel and Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow.
I can never remember. I always want to say Red Wing because of her costume.
Right, but no, she's Sparrow.
She's Sparrow. Yeah. Are just cleaning up the remnants of the gang war while dealing with rabble, and the lady that was running the Cake Killers division in Brooklyn and whatnot in Miles' side of the world. Cage says like, "Well, your division's done because the anti-vigilante law got repealed, so there's no point, and they're just going to move back to Vice." And she's like, "Well, you're an idiot. Just because you guys are around doesn't mean people with powers aren't going to hurt people." It's like, yeah, but now we are able to step in full force. So she goes right to the rabble and starts wanting to work with her. I just can't wait because I know this is going to come to a head next issue. But this is a great book. Art's fantastic. I will say one nice thing about Amazing Spider-Man 44. They had a great joke about leaving the Kung Fu guys to deal with tanks.
I was going to leave that alone. I was going to say, you said the one good thing about Amazing Spider-Man 44, I was going to say that it ended.
That's also true. But what do you think about this?
This was actually pretty good. I did like the fact that he was trying to. The one thing about Miles and Peter, I love the fact that Miles is doing his best to try to save everyone, much like Peter tries to save everyone. That everybody else looks like everybody looks at Rabble and goes, "That's a lost cause," and yet Miles still thinks that he can save them. At the same time, Rabble's like, "I'm okay with what I am. I don't need saving." At the same time, now you have the Cake Killers going, "You can be the problem, we can be the solution." It's like, I like that. That to me is a great matchup because they're not enemies, but it's like we need each other. And at the same time, you'll keep me in business. So no, it was a good issue. I did like it.
I love it so much. Moving on over, looking at other Spider people, we got Spider-Punk. Number 1, Arms Race is also written by Cody Ziegler. We got multiple stories. We got Cody Ziegler doing Charming. Oh, no, wait. Charming Cody Ziegler. I just realized those were like Justin Mason as art and Maury Hollowell as colorist. This kind of gives you a really brief recap of what Hobie's up to.
Yeah.
Who Hobie is, what his world's like, how he got his powers. Then we just go into a nice book story of him dealing with, I want to say, Octo Sentinels.
That's what it looks like. I don't know what to call them. I didn't know really what to call them, but yeah, that's close enough.
We get to meet the Spider-Punk team of Captain Anarchy, Daredevil, who's a drummer, Ms. Marvel, who I can't tell if she's the bassist or just a fangirl.
I was gonna say bassist because she was.
And Riri Williams, who's also in this too, is Iron Punk. This is just a fun, but if anything, I'll say this. The story was good. I think the visuals was better than the stories because of how this world is portrayed.
They try to write like 80s punk in London. That's the vibe I got from it. They try to write like that, which again, I'm not against it, but at the same time, it's like you didn't have to push it. Like, yes, you want to make it seem like, okay, this is a London type city that he's in. You're trying to make it seem like, okay, he is a punk rocker. It is a band thing. Even their team attacks seemed like a synchronized band. And I'm not against that, but they could pull it back a little bit. Like, we know he's Spider-Punk. Not everything he does have to be of a punk rock status. But again, I'm not against it. I really liked it. Hopefully it continues. I wanted to see this. I want to see this type of storytelling continue because I think it was really well done. It's just, I'm just nitpicking a few things.
I think a lot of people have Hobie as their mind as the Spider-Verse Hobie, not the actual Hobie, which is what this dude is. So I think this may throw some people off. It's like, this wasn't what it was like in the movie. He's like, no, this is what he's like all the time in the comic.
Pretty much.
The man does not know how to turn off.
But it was still a good issue, though. I can't complain.
Oh, yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. Moving on, we got Invincible Iron Man number 15. This is written by Jerry Duggan, pencils by Cerise Lee, inks by Walden Wong, color by Brian Valencia. We're slowly heading towards the end game in this Invincible Iron Man run that's connected to Fall of X. Tony's been being assassinated by Orchis with a Wolverine-style Sentinel, and then we find Emma also helps out. They are actually a fairly functioning, good working couple together. But then again, in the grand scheme of things, Tony's always been able to make a relationship work. It's just getting to the altar is always what stops him. So now that he's past that altar phase, we see what a committed man looks like in Tony Stark, and not a bad look on him, especially when you have someone like Emma Frost who can probably keep him on his toes and keep that man honest, because that's one of those things, like, who better to keep Tony straight than one of the world's second most powerful?
I mean,
most powerful psychic.
I was gonna say, having a psychic that can read your mind and also can alter your way of thinking does kind of keep you on the level.
Oh yeah. Even Wilson Fisk landed Tony Hand in this one because his staff is made out of Mysterium. So we also get to see the debut of a new suit, and we get to see what those giant ships that Riri and Forge Commission do.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Sentinel Buster looked nice. But of course, Mr. Fihei decided that he wanted the war suits or War Machine's armor. I'm like, okay, that's just not copying something and making your own homework, but all right. So
I like how everyone's problem-solving skills is escalate to a larger robot.
Yeah, we're just about 3 sizes away from kaiju.
We're at kaiju level because if the Sentinel Buster's bigger than a Sentinel, and Sentinel's already pretty big.
That is true. But either way, even though it was a good issue, the fact that Tony seemed more human than Invincible, which is kind of ironic considering the name of the comic.
Also, I do not like that this covers like a complete and utter lie. We do not see War Machine or Rhodey at all.
Rhodey has been just missing since the fall of the House of X. But
no, Rhodey's in jail. Remember Fang?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Fang hasn't been in prison, but literally he's been off. I mean, yeah, he's in jail, but he's been off story. It's like we know where he is. He's pretty much ineffective, but yet the War Machine armor is going to get used. So,
yep.
But still, it wasn't bad.
Checking with Power Rangers 117. This is written by Melissa Flores, colors by Roland Julo, and illustrations by Simona de Genovese and Marco Renna. We're just really checking back in on Power Rangers, see what's going on. We're still in the Darkest Hour timeline where Dark Spectre still has Zordon's physical body and Rita's all super powered, but we're slowly learning that Rita's getting really sick of his crap, and Master Vile's like, look, I know you're getting sick of it, so I got to improve to keep you in line. So once again, Alpha's got to bite the dust for the greater good. Meanwhile, we're also seeing that this corruption of the morphing grid is continuing because most of the Aquatarian Rangers have been corrupted. We get to see that those eggs from a single episode of Power Rangers come back into play, and they are just literally full morph grid energy.
Yeah.
And some stuff with the Shadow Ranger.
That's still wild the whole time. It's like, I can make a mistake, but it's like, nah, we've done worse. It's like, I built this arch to bring people together, not corrupt them. Nah, I've done worse. Just really.
And then that final page where even Babu's like, do we really want to do this? Because you saw what he did to Alpha 6 or whatever the Alpha was. He was like, I'm tired of this BS. Hey, Tommy, you want to get out of here?
That was the funny part. Tommy just sat this like, I would even give you my power. It's like, dang, when Rita goes back, I said, what have your failure? I feel like Tommy had a Thanos moment. What has your failures done? Let you right back to me.
To me. It's like, oh, you're incorruptible, which is hilarious considering how your whole legacy started.
Right.
It's like, you know what? I'm sick of Dark Spectre's BS. Let's blow this. That's a good issue. We're just checking in periodically because Power Rangers is always consistently good.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Duke, written by Josh Williamson with art by Tom Riley and colors by Jordi Belair.
Mm-hmm.
We get to learn about the Baroness in this universe. We see that I think it's Roadhouse and Stalker just flat out tell General Hawk is like, look, this man, Duke, we don't think Duke's actually done anything. And he was already pretty beat up when he came to us because, let's face it, and I like that they were very upfront with General Hawk is like,
oh, yeah.
Like, if this man was 100%, we would not have him in custody.
When they start questioning, like, maybe he had a point, it's like, wait, this doesn't feel right. Why are we bringing him in? You know,
it's like, sir, what does he know? And then we get like a brief flashback of Starscream. It's like, well, we know. And then someone who's definitely not Destro hires Major Blood to like lead an assault on a Joe headquarter base to extract or exterminate Duke. And well, it was good meeting General Blood for his brief cameo. We wish him well on his further endeavors.
Only to have the Baroness say, so what do you know? Just to wrap it up. I'm like, yeah, well, you let her out. I mean, yeah, she saved you, but yeah. But no, it was a good issue. The whole time it was just like it's leading up to what we already know it's going to. But again, Duke's kind of take the long way around, while Cobra Commander is like, I'm gonna swim with the alligators. I'm gonna swim with the alligators for a while. But
I don't even think Cobra Commander's dealing with this. I think this is just Destro at this point.
Yeah, that's also true. I'm just trying to think about what their stories are as far as both of them.
Oh, yeah. He's got to go swim with like Skull Crusher and whatnot.
But no, it was a good issue though.
And rounding out tonight, one of the best memes I've been seeing around in the Transformers community. Danny Ward Johnson is doing story and art with colors by Mark Spicer. Transformers issue 5. Let's punt a kitty.
Literally and figuratively.
Because that's literally what happens in this book. This was so much fun and so incredibly violent.
Surprisingly, the level of just like, you don't think someone sat there and said, do we really think we should sit there and say that we're basically tossing a kid over a dam and we're okay with this? We're okay with this. Oh, okay, I guess we're okay with this.
That's not what I'm talking about. There's so much more violence in this thing.
Oh, yeah, when he
Starscream has re-engineered Skywarp's body to make Teletran work and reconfigure old Decepticons and bring them back online. And we get like Rumble and Reflector. And the first thing Soundwave wants to do is like, all right, well, let's definitely resurrect Ravage, and Starscream just punts the cat. It's like, no, we got to think bigger. Just the fact that it literally just says punt. And Soundwave's looks like, oh, we are playing the long game now. I am not dealing with you.
Right. Oh, man.
Meanwhile, the Autobots are also resurrecting, and then the Decepticons make an attack, and like, this shows you why Optimus Prime never needed to should ever use Megatron's gun. Ever.
Because whatever it hits.
Refractor is no longer online in this issue. We'll just say this. Rumble just like, oh.
Yeah.
He did not get shot in this issue, but we got another wrestling move on hand where it just like, do you see where his top teeth were on the guardrail?
Just damn.
And then Starscream is like, you have no right to use that. And Optimus like, Well, tell me where he is, and I'll give it back to him.
There.
Decepticons retreat.
Just still, damn.
Although we do get some nice introspective thing because, like, Spike, some of the sound quieter moments were very, very poignant in this one, especially in the opening of the book where, like, Spike's dad talks about, like, his time in the war, and he talks out, was like, mine lasted for a year and it changed me. How long was, like, years and years and years, and it never changes. It never stops. We won't know peace ever in my lifetime, I believe.
Yeah, it got dark. It got dark.
But still, just some of the stuff in here was just fantastic. Jess just comes up in here and is like, we need, and makes a musical reference, and Clifton was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I do not understand this reference.
But no, it was a good issue, though. I did like it.
So much violence.
So much violence in 12 pages. But no, it's just the whole thing about
I'm wondering what this is going to be like when Megatron finally hits this thing. I'm wondering if we're going to it's just going to be the 86 movie all over again. There's just going to be Autobot bodies everywhere the moment Megatron comes on the scene.
He'll probably be let me leave that alone. I just thought of a really bad Starscream joke.
Or whatever is going to be that episode of that newer Transformers, the Cyberverse, where it's just a whole episode of Megatron brutalizing Starscream until he's dead for like a whole issue.
Yes.
Except with Danny Warren Johnson drawing it, it's actually going to be a full brutalization, not cartoon punching until he goes offline.
Oh.
Like, this book has very violent robot imagery. I will always say that because this man knows how to make things look like it hurts, and
that'd be the first time we might actually see sensor blocks. Maybe, but no. Oh man, but no, that was a crazy issue. But what else we got, Joe?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Well, we don't have that many books this time.
Oh yeah, we forgot. We had I keep forgetting because we've had such a roundabout weeks of news and comics. The fact that we actually have a shortened time is different, odd, refreshing. But anyway, as we wrap this up, Joe, you know what you're doing, what you're up to, and where they can find you, sir.
Every so often I'll probably plug away a Tekken. I got to see what these debuffs did to Dragunov. Like, I know what they did, but in like the grand scale of my gameplay, I got to see how to deal with it. So I'll be streaming over on Total Justice Gaming. Boon Boonger starts this week, so I will be doing episode recaps either with myself or friends whenever a new episode drops. I have no idea how I'm going to pull off episode 2 or 3, considering I'll be in New York. Because I will be in New York mid-month for the Ghostbusters premiere. Hooray! Also, New York Adventures. Other than that, Joe Italian last name on Twitch. That's where you'll see me streaming stuff if I choose to stream, or just over on the other 2 YouTube channels. Other than that, it will just be me sleeping a lot or falling asleep on the couch.
Nice. But aside from that, again, some shameless plugging like we always do on this show. Shout out to my boy Vaughn at Big VZA Dot. You can definitely find him Big VZA Dot on all social media for beats, for shows, for podcasts, for songs. Definitely check him out, Big VZA Dot on all social media. Also, shout out to Blurred Station. Again, myself and others are part of a conglomerate for Blurred Station. This is, guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you ever want a place where it could be a Netflix for people of color, for blurs and nerds alike, this is definitely it. They are definitely producing new shows, new animations, comics, movies are on the horizon. And again, guys, if you haven't actually, if you've been under a rock, there's been a lot of news that myself and others have shared, and even news that we released today that I think you should be well aware of, like this.
Well. Big announcement. Big announcement, everyone. Chris Fury, Blur's Eye View, and the BNN network for Blurred Station This is big news. This is what you've been waiting for. We told you we were working. We told you we had something major coming for you. Who do we have with us today? Who has recently signed up for Blurred Station? Well, you might have seen him in Mad TV. You might have seen him in Double Take with Eddie Griffin. You might have seen him in Evolution. You might have even seen him in American Gods as Mr. Nancy. But you probably know him best as the doctor from Drumline. And now he's playing the father of Gregory on Abbott Elementary, of course. Orlando Jones has joined Blurred Station. This goes without saying because here's a person who has consistently written and acted and did everything in his power to bring something of flavor to Hollywood, right? To bring something of substance and substantial candor to showcase efforts made by people of color. He's a writer, he's a director, he's done many things. He's consistently at HBCUs. He does a lot of stuff for charities, cancer charities, but now we have him with us. We told you we weren't kidding. We told you we weren't playing. We told you we were doing the work. You want to sign up with Blurred Station. It is the new Black Hollywood. It's the place you want to be when you want to see speculative fiction, anime, sci-fi, action, horror, and we're the leads. Isn't that what we've always tried? We've seen it with other shows that have been canceled by other major cable networks. And now, after a year of having numerous Black television shows canceled, where do you turn to? Who do you turn to? Who can you trust? Well, you can always come to Blurred Station. $10.99, 36 months, you get an equity in that package. Depending on who you sign with, you get some kind of prize. And guess what? It's all us. And anybody can join, of course. But wouldn't you want to see a lot of the content that's created by us, written by us, starring us, really get its shine? Thank you, Orlando Jones. Thank you, Michael Jai White and Jillian White. More news to come from Blurred Station. I am your man on the wall, Chris Fury. Blurred News Network, Blurred Station. It's your next destination.
And yes, I could not have said it better myself. Of course, that was Chris Fury from Blurred's Eye View, which again is every Tuesday and Thursday. He is exactly right. I can't say nothing more about Blurred Station than what's already been said out there, guys. We have signed Orlando Jones. We have signed Michael Jai White. We have signed his wife, Jillian White, to Blurred Station. If anything, the more I can add to it is what you're missing out on. $10.99 a month, 36 months. You get to own a piece of Blurred Station at the same time, guys. If you are a content creator and want to see about how you can join Blurred Station, definitely go to blurredstation.com. Go to the FAQ portion of Blurred Station, and you'll be able to go from there. Once you're subscribed, you'll be able to go from there as actually reaching out to the content, because much like Tubi, we're not going to take your content away from you and make money off of it and leave you out in the cold. You will own your own content. They just want they just want to get a piece of distribution. It's simple as that. But again, it is great news to see the great Orlando Jones, Michael Jai White, and of course his wife Gillian White are all joining Blurred Station. And of course, more news to come regarding that. But anyway, I guess it's my time to finally go ahead and sit there and say my outro. Of course, you can find me, Black Spartan 615, of course, Black_Spartan615 on all the socials. I usually do reviews on everything, including gym. Why? Because I like to keep myself in shape and try to keep myself accountable. Again, the link at the bottom, guys, if you will copy and paste that, and I can make that just a little bit bigger for you guys to find. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, take you to our link tree. That's YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. All of our podcasts can be found on Facebook or on YouTube or on Instagram by their names. How the Frack We Got Here, Get Bit Podcast, Off Limits Podcast. Yes, the Off Limits Podcast is coming back. I just got to figure out how to do the format a little bit. But definitely like, share, subscribe. I keep telling you guys this all the time. We simply put cannot do this without you. Without you, we are not here. Without you, we cannot get out to others. So simply put, guys, just don't like and just say you love the show, which we certainly appreciate. Me and Joe really do appreciate when you guys tell us that you like the show. But share it. Tell people about it. Because all we wanted to do is grow. And if you allow us to grow, we can do this full time. And I know I would love to do it. I'm pretty sure Joe would love to do it too. But again, much like PBS, we cannot do this, guys, without you. So definitely share it. Word of mouth is the greatest weapon we have against the algorithm as we're trying to get past that YouTube space. So definitely, guys, share it. Tell us what you love about it. Discuss it, because that's the whole big thing about our fandoms, that we love discussing them. We love debating them. We love bringing people into that I've never seen before and instantly becoming fans of their own. That's what this is all about. And of course, you are exactly right, lady. That's a fact. Also, lady, Geek by Heart. Definitely check her and her husband out as they stream. I think in F the Algorithm. Yep, F the Algorithm indeed. But yes, definitely check out Geek by Heart on Instagram because Geek by Heart is the Greek art of horror at Blurred's Eye View. She watches the horror movies, so you don't have to, because she definitely loves her horror movies. Me, I'm a scaredy cat, so I'm going to leave it at that. But definitely check her out as she does stream Hogwarts Legacy. Check her husband out as he was just recently streaming Gears of War. Great people again. Like, share, subscribe. That is all we freaking ask to do. But beyond that, guys, hopefully we will be back here, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel again next Friday. Again, with news of the week. And again, for everything that we talked about, guys, let us know what you think. The differences of opinions is always welcome. The only thing we ask in the chats is keep it clean, keep it fun. That's it. There is no right or wrong answers because, well, we're all different. So with that being said, Joe, any last words we call tonight, sir?
Can't wait for Pokemon to come after us tonight for on copyright claim.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that axe is coming. That axe is. I'll have to edit that. I'll probably have to edit that out, but I'm pretty sure
when it comes, it will let us know that we got a pack.
That would be messed up. Here's the cease and desist, but here's the pack. just as a consolation prize. Oh, good God! The last thing, guys, I will sit. Oh, what Lane said.
First that it won't.
All right, but
what are you talking about? I want that pack. It may have a shiny spoink in it.
Dear God. The last thing I'll say about Get Bit Podcast, guys, we're all about fandoms. We know them, we love them, we share them, we argue them, we debate them. Why? Because we're passionate about them. They have fulfilled us, so they have fulfilled a part of our loves that brings us joy, and we love talking about it with people. The last thing we want to be is toxic gatekeepers. We never want to sit there and say that this is crap simply because we don't like it, or the simple fact of the matter is someone's opinion is different from ours. Everybody's different. The beauty of it is that we love it, we share it, we bring people into it. And much like Will Wheaton says all the time, don't be a dick about it. So, with that being said, guys, let's wrap this up. Again, with the weekend, if you're off for the weekend, enjoy your weekend. If you're working the weekend, hopefully your ship goes by. Enjoy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Please don't spoil it unless you're giving people the heads up. At the same time, guys, happy gaming. Be safe. Look out for each other, and we'll all get through this. Thank you all for watching, guys. This replay will definitely be back on here, probably Pokemon tomorrow, depending on Nintendo. But aside from that, guys, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Gaming Podcast for the night, guys. We will talk to you later. Peace.